The calendar advances. Galactic forces move into alignment. The Mayan prophecy approaches. What will happen on that fateful day, the 21st of December, 2012?
Their calendar was incredibly precise, more accurate even than our own. Its interlocking timescales of lunar, solar, and planetary cycles could accurately predict a solar eclipse thousands of years into the future.
The Mayans were kind of like shamanic scientists, and they were obsessed with time, synchronicity, and consciousness, and they spent like 1,000 years, going back to even previous civilizations, trying to put together a model of when this big transformation was going to take place.
The calendar is also prophetic. In the 8th century AD, it predicted that white-skinned, bearded gods would arrive from across the sea on March 5th, 1519. On that precise date, Cortez and his conquistadors arrived in the New World. Was it coincidence, or was the calendar prophetically accurate? The answer matters, for the Mayan calendar also predicts the end of the world as we know it, on the date that the Mayans called Hunab Ku.
On the winter solstice, 2012, December 21st, the sun rises within the dark rift at the center of the Milky Way. And they call this dark rift a cosmic mother, or they also apparently refer to it as a black hole. And only in the last 5 years have Western astronomers discovered that there is actually an enormous black hole at the center of the Milky Way, which is at the center of our galaxy.
Modern astronomers concur with the ancient Mayans. On December 21st, 2012, the Earth will be in exact alignment with the Sun and the center of the Milky Way galaxy, a galactic event that takes place only once every 25,800 years. No one knows what effect this extraordinary alignment will have on the Earth, but the Mayans believed it would be dire.
It might be kind of like a crossing over of the kind of galactic equator. And when you go below, south and north, magnetic currents will spin in opposite directions. It might be there's a kind of field effect reversal that takes place once you pass through this galactic equator.
Geophysicists have a theory that is strikingly similar to the events predicted by the Mayan alignment. This phenomenon is called pole shift, in which the entire mantle of the Earth would shift in a matter of days, perhaps hours, changing the position of the North and South Pole, causing worldwide disaster. Earthquakes would rock every continent. Massive tsunamis would inundate coastal cities. It would be the ultimate planetary catastrophe. As unlikely as this theory seems, it is backed by science. Albert Einstein first suggested it in 1955. And a new study from Princeton University reveals that the poles have shifted before. The North Pole rested in the middle of the Pacific 800 million years ago, placing Alaska at the equator. Even if this pole shift took place slowly over years, it would result in global climate change and shifting sea levels. If it took place rapidly, it would mean planet-wide disaster and mass extinction of species.
Beyond the calendar round, the German scholar Fosterman discovered that the Maya tracked time with yet a third calendar, called the Long Count. Its importance is central to their conception of time itself. It's from the Long Count that they calculated doomsday and made their predictions concerning the future. The Long Count measures the time elapsed since the mythical beginning of the Mayan civilization. It transcends the lifetime of individuals and kingdoms. After years of collating data from astronomy, archaeology, and iconography, experts have calculated that the start date of the Long Count equates to the 13th of August, 3114 BC, and ends 5,125 years later on the 21st of December, 2012. Perhaps most important within the Long Count calendar is one overarching theme. In Mayan cosmology, there are 5 great cycles, each one lasting about 5,125 years. 4 have already passed.
4 prior cycles all ended in destruction. So when we talk about the Mayan doomsday prophecy, we're talking about the end of the 5th cycle, the very last day, which equates to December 21st in the year 2012.
This indicates that the 5th and current cycle, like its predecessors, will also end in destruction. If so, what could trigger it? The answer may lie in a rare cosmic event that was foreseen by the Maya more than 2,000 years ago. The Mayan priesthood prophesied that planet Earth will come to an end on 13 Baktun on their long count calendar. This date translates as the 21st of December 2012. The date is unlikely to be arbitrary. Rather, the cosmologists probably and purposely calculated it using their advanced knowledge of astronomy.
The Mayan prophecy for 2012 is anchored to an astronomical alignment. And in December of 2012, the December solstice sun will be lining up with the center of our Milky Way galaxy. This is a very rare cosmic alignment. It happens only once every 26,000 years.
Every 26,000 years, the sun aligns with the center of the Milky Way. At the same time, another astronomical rarity occurs. The Earth completes a wobble around its axis. This phenomenon is called precession. The exact date when this incredible combination of galactic alignments will come together is on the 21st of December, 2012.
The Earth wobbles very slowly on its axis, so it effectively changes our angular orientation to the larger galactic picture. One complete precessional wobble is 26,000 years.
How the Mayans could predict cosmic events 26,000 years into the future remains a wondrous mystery, despite the ongoing work of many scholars. What is known is that for some reason the Maya attached great symbolic meaning to the precessional cycle.
The precessional cycle was an astronomical measurement that was so slow that they saw it as a fundamental framework on which they could patch their history and see where they were in the context of time.
The Maya attached such importance to this rare alignment that it formed not only the linchpin of the date of the annihilation of mankind, but it also permeated the very roots of the culture.
In terms of what the meaning of this cosmic alignment is, we have to access the core documents of Mayan creation mythology. That's the Popol Vuh, or the hero twin creation myth.
The Popol Vuh, the Mayan equivalent of the Bible, was translated shortly after the Spanish conquest of Mexico in the 16th century. According to the Popol Vuh, the dark rift in the Milky Way is the entrance to the underworld and a haven of evil. It is through the center of the murky gap that the sun will align on the 21st of December 2012.
In the Dresden Codex, what you have is a series of astronomical events that are predicted. It has the Venus cycles, it has lunar cycles, it has eclipse cycles, and then the last page of the Dresden Codex actually shows the destruction of the world via water. And so the Maya conceived of a doomsday scenario.
This graphic illustration depicts the destruction of the Earth by flood. Waves gush from the mouth of a celestial dragon. More floodwaters pour from sun and moon symbols on the underside of the monster's body. An aged goddess pours a jar of floodwater onto the earth. At the bottom of the picture crouches a ruler of the underworld. Above the picture, about half of the 15 glyphs have been destroyed, but a few of the remaining ones consistently refer to Black Earth and Black on High.
Sense that there would come a time, about in these times in which we're living now, that would include tremendous destruction. They speak about the day of the withered fruit and the great tempest, things that sound rather scary.
The Hopi speak of trees dying and dramatic changes in the weather that will bring in the great day of purification. Nostradamus speaks of the dead rising from their grave. And Prophet Mother Shipton warns,
storms shall rage and oceans roar, old worlds shall die and new be born.
As for Casey's predictions,